I'm Patrick King, and this is SYNTHWAVE Ultra. Evoking memories of warm summer nights long gone by, this week's guests have quickly made a name for themselves with their combination of rich, dreamy synths, soaring guitars, and ethereal vocals to create a gorgeous soundscape of nostalgia. Please welcome this week's guest, Lavallette. So I'm here with Lavallette. So if you all go ahead and introduce yourselves.
All right. Hi, I am Sophia Sorrentino.
And I am Dan Schuster.
Yeah, so thank you two very much for joining me this evening. So yeah, so how did you two get started in the whole like synthwave retrowave thing?
So I guess I kind of initiated it, and I discovered it through, of course, the Midnight and Gunship and all those kind of classic guys at this point. And I had been in and out of bands throughout the years, and I just finally decided I wanted to do something on my own. And I realized when my brother was a senior in college that he was at a performing arts school, and I was like, dude, can you like find me a singer? What have you been doing all these years? And that's when he found Sophia, and she sent me a quick demo, and I was like, let's give this a shot.
Nice. Yeah, that's great, because yeah, like I mean, it seems like that's like I know the Midnight is, I mean, they're the ones who really got me into synthwave in earnest. Yeah, that seems like, you know, like you said, guys like that are just sort of like classics in the scene. Like they're sort of a good common entryway.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did like you mentioned, you know, like doing some bands and stuff. So where did Lavallette specifically get started?
Maybe 2 years ago, I picked up my first synth and started messing around. I realized all the cool shit I could make with it, and that kind of kicked it all off for me.
Nice. Yeah, and so was your brother at the same school as Sophia?
Yeah, so I met Dan's brother. There was a school event going on, a fundraiser, and we met each other there, and we just like really like kicked it off, and he ended up telling me that his older brother needed a singer and was wondering if I would do it, since I'm a vocal performance major at Baldwin Wallace University. And I was like, yes, please, that would be so cool. So as Dan said, I sent him a demo, and luckily he found something good with my voice, and and yeah, the rest is history from there.
Don't sell yourself short. I mean, that's like, I mean, I was going back and listening to American Summer and Wasted Love earlier, and it's like, I mean, your vocals are definitely one of the big things that stand out about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. She acts like it was a hard decision to.
So I guess Dan. So who are some of your big influences and inspirations?
That's probably more like the rock, like Springsteen and Phil Collins and that kind of stuff. That's kind of where my my go-to kind of pocket is for the stuff that I come up with. But Sophia definitely brings some influences too.
Yeah.
She's definitely a big contributor with the writing and definitely melody making. That's that's where I definitely need Sophia.
Nice. Yeah. So I was gonna say, so Sophia too. Like, who are some of your big influences? I mean, obviously you're a vocal major, so like you know, I'm sure you got some good inspirations.
Yeah. So I like study like classical music and opera at the conservatory. So I think that kind of music has like given me a foundation for having like a good skill set in all genres of singing. So honestly, just the classical genre in general has helped me a lot and has helped with my skill set. So I'm able to help Dan with melodies and harmonies because of the skills I learned during college under like my major. I love a lot of different artists. I don't know if I could pick one inspiration. But yeah, definitely the classical genre, of course, has helped a lot.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because it seems like there's been an influx of vocalists lately who have that classical training and like that classical influence. Yeah, so you mentioned like opera. So do you do like opera singing and that sort of thing, or just kind of just anything and everything?
Yeah, I sing a lot of opera. I've been singing in opera since freshman year. We get a lot of really good opportunities at Baldwin Wallace with performing. I'm actually in the midst of preparing for a modern opera for next semester in February. So I've been practicing and learning that since this past fall semester and now into winter break. So yeah, definitely singing a lot of opera over here.
That's pretty cool, because I know like so I know one of the big breakout artists from this year was Annie, and she definitely brings a lot of that like classical opera like Broadway sensibility to her vocal performances, where it's just like big and grand, and also has like it has that certain like I guess like polish to it that comes with vocal training. So yeah, that's really cool that you have that background as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty great.
I think Annie's actually another New Jersey native too, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're all kind of in the same boat here. Yeah,
there's definitely a bunch of us here up in the Northeast area. that's for sure. Yeah. So kind of going off of like influences and inspirations and stuff. So like in going back and listening to American Summer, like I do really like how there's definitely that like 80s like rock influence, where you've got like those really heavily chorused guitars. Yeah. So kind of tell me about that. Like where did those come from?
Yeah, I mean, I've played guitar probably since I was 12 years old, and that was kind of always my instrument. Anything I wrote was on guitar, or any bands I was in, I was playing guitar. So that's kind of where everything started for me musically, and being able to incorporate that into like this old school 80s sound is like, it's pretty exciting. Kind of recreating those classic sounds with the chorus and the delay and everything. Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's not something I've ever done before, but it sounds pretty damn cool. Oh yeah, for sure. Like it is a really interesting going back. Like even in, I feel like in pretty much any style of art, whether it's like music or visual, or like music or visual art, or even like video art, where like you want to go and like recreate that old style. It's actually like really difficult to get it to look and sound authentic, because it's easy to do, kind of like, you know, to kind of half-ass and be like, oh yeah, chorus effect guitars, like yeah, like it sounds kind of like that, kind of retro-y, but just to really make it sound like genuinely like that. Like it's, yeah, there's a certain touch that needs it. There's a certain touch to it, and and you definitely have that sound down. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes to like, when you're going to older sounds, you have to figure out what the limitations were, or sometimes it's a specific piece of gear that they used then that gave it that sound. So figuring all that out, it's a challenge, but like I said, it sounds awesome when it comes out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and kind of speaking of that like 80s style, like I saw that you were working on a cover of No Easy Way Out. Yeah.
We were just recording earlier today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up Sophia's kind of last few vocal takes here, and hopefully we'll have it out in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Nice. Yeah, that's definitely one of those iconic tracks. Like it's always always interesting too to hear these like, like iconic 80s tracks like covered with that modern retro flair.
because like I know like actually there's a power metal band I really like called Beast in Black that did a really great cover of No Easy Way Out as well, when like where it still had that like 80s flair to it, which was a lot of fun.
That's really cool. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It might be good. It might suck. Sophia, what do you think?
It's definitely gonna be good. No doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. So that's the kind of positive attitude I like to hear.
Yeah. She's the boss, man. She's the boss.
That's great. Cool. Well, so like, I feel like you two have done a pretty good job of like, you know, introducing yourselves to the whole synth community and like the whole like synth fam sort of thing. So who are some of the folks who like you would want to like collaborate with or like, you know, work with or anything like that?
I mean, I have a few in mind, and we may or may not have a couple of things in the works.
And I always agree with Dan because he knows best. So.
Yeah, there's a few bands. A Dollar Underwater is pretty sweet. Sandra Gavin's awesome. Yate is awesome. I would love to work with Betamax, but you know, he's a little busy, so we'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of great artists in the scene, and if we could work with all of them, we would, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that I really like about the synthwave scene is just how like it's very collaborative, and like folks, you know, for the most part are going to be really positive in it. If nothing else, like you know, they're going to reach out and support other artists as well, which you know, case in point.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we had a lot of help even while we were working on American Summer. We would send demos out to different artists and get their feedback or critiques on the mix or things like that, and everyone was incredibly helpful. So
nice. Yeah, and I know you two. You were on Night Ride FM with Carnzo Lee in the lead up to American Summer coming out. I'm sure that was a lot of fun as well.
Mm-hmm. That was
very for sure.
Fun.
Yeah, she's a great host. I mean, she's a huge force in the community here too. So it's awesome having people like you and her around that are kind of giving everybody a voice and a platform to talk about their music on.
Yeah, for sure. You know, because you know, I think that I feel like that was one of the driving forces behind this was hey, you know, like I want to like, you know, help people out and help promote their stuff, because there's so many great synthwave artists out there, and like you know, some of them don't always get the some of them don't always get the attention that they really deserve, because their stuff is really good. So yeah, always happy to help.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. It's awesome.
So Dan, you mentioned some previous bands and stuff. So what kind of stuff have you worked on in the past?
Oh man, everything. Well, I can't say everything. Everything, it started as emo in the early 2000s, and it just kind of got heavier and heavier and heavier until it was like death metal with guitars that were tuned down to God knows what. And, and then it was just like, you know what, this isn't even music anymore. Let's just do something else.
just tuning it down to like drop G or something.
G sharp was the lowest we went. I was like, why? Like, we would bring our guitars and basses into like the music store to get tuned up and stuff. And the guy would be like, why? What are you doing? It's like, the bass strings were like electrical wire, like huge, like,
oh my god,
because you had to have extra big strings to go that low, or else they would just fall off the guitar basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cool. It turned into like a weird cult thing, but it was cool while it lasted.
That's funny, because I remember like when I was younger too, I would play because I have a guitar, and I was you know, playing guitar in the early 2000s as well. I was super into like new metal and all that, so I would just tune it way down to the point where, like you said, the strings are basically falling off of it. So yeah, you know. the early to mid 2000s were an interesting time for music.
Yeah, it was thinking back, it was like you had Backstreet Boys and then you had like metalcore, you know, it was just like but we listened to everything, you know. It was just a weird time.
Oh yeah. So Sophia, what about you? So it's like, I know you said like you're obviously doing, you know, classical vocals and such. Like, did you do any kind of performance or anything like that before?
Yeah, I grew up playing the piano, and unfortunately, I did not really practice. So that skill set is still a little there, but not quite. But I grew up playing the saxophone, and I would perform in band and jazz band and all of that, which really helped my musical skills a lot. And then starting from the age of 10, I began performing in musicals until I like graduated high school. So I've been performing since I was a kid, which has been really nice and helpful. And then I kind of made that switch to classical around 8th grade. And then that's when I decided I wanted to go into vocal performance.
Yeah, very cool. Like that's always great whenever you can, you know, recognize that you have that kind of talent and you can develop it and, you know, really make something out of it.
Yeah, I like noticed that my voice really fit like more classically. Like I could like tell that it was heading in that direction, so I went with it, and definitely like happy with that choice. But I did love performing in musicals. I love show tunes, and I grew up a lot with pop, really like everything, a little mix of everything. My dad listening to classic rock with him in the car, of course. So yeah.
No, that's cool, because I feel like that's such like a classic Americana thing, whereas, you know, like you said, sitting driving in the car with your dad listening to, like, you know, 70s and 80s classic rock.
Yep, a lot of AC/DC.
Of course.
Lots of AC/DC.
That's funny.
That sounds so familiar, but that was my uncle, not my dad. So
Yep.
big deal.
Yep.
That's it. It's funny. I remember at one point this summer, I went outside to do something, and the neighbor next door was out in the driveway cleaning out his car, and he had, I don't know if it was on like Sirius FM or like it had it on Spotify or Pandora, but it was like, you know, like AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, stuff like that. So I come back inside and tell my wife, like, hey, yeah, Tony's got the dad rock station on.
The dad rock station. That's so funny. That was like heavy metal, man.
Oh,
now it's dad rock.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like it's so funny. It's fun, like you said, how things change like that. Like, I mean, Guns N' Roses then, that was like, you know, dangerous and had like, you know, like, you know, this stuff to freak out your parents. Now it's like, oh, this is like playing on the PAs at the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. Like November Rain. Like you're getting groceries, November Rain's on the radio. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, hilarious.
That's funny. So what are you like? Well, I guess can't like what are you working on now? Because it's, you know, kind of under wraps. But what does 2022 have in store for Lavallette?
I don't know, Sophia. What are we doing?
Oh gosh. Well, Dan sends me a million demos and a million things. This is my 2022 prediction, actually. This is what is going to happen. Dan is going to send me a million demos, and he's going to be like, I made all of this music in like 2 weeks. Let me know what you think. And they all sound absolutely amazing. So I'm like, let's just do all of them. And that's usually how it goes. And I think that's probably going to be 2022. And then Dan, you wanna
I don't know. As far as like, as far as releasing stuff, I don't know. I mean, I think we're gonna go a little bit slower than we did last time. We're gonna do one track at a time, just get them perfect. And if it's an album or a bunch of singles, we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's always interesting seeing our artists do that. The whole like, you know, the whether they do an album or you know, releasing a handful of singles, because like there's that, I feel like there's advantages and disadvantages for both, because like with, you know, with singles, like when you release them, like, you know, it'll keep you in the public consciousness, but then like I've noticed a lot of times when people like will release a bunch of singles and then an album, like they've already released half the album, so it's like,
yeah.
But by the same token, you do a full album and it's like, oh cool, it's this brand new thing, but they haven't heard from you in a while. Yeah,
it's a tough balance. So I mean, that's kind of what sparked the whole doing a cover, was like, let's just do a couple of things that are a little simpler for us, but we can still put our mark on it. But it's not going to be an original track that's from an album. You know, we don't have to make that decision right now. We can just do a couple of things that are just fun, and we just get some stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of just gonna go with the flow and see how we feel. And usually it always turns out well. So I'm excited.
Yeah, good. So what do you get up to when you're not making music as a Lavallette? Like, do you have other side projects, or yeah?
For me, no, this is it. You know, like Sophia said, I send her all my demos, so everything that I make is basically Lavallette. Sophia, I know you got all sorts of cool stuff going on with school and stuff like that.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I got cast in an opera here, a newly written one called The House of Bernarda Alba, and it's a modern opera, so it's super, super cool, and that's going to be coming up in February, so I'm going to be spending most of break really getting that down and memorizing it. With school, like, I'm constantly learning music, every single day, all the time, new pieces. It's really fun. It's a lot, but it is super fun. So it occupies my time greatly. But yeah, I'm constantly doing music and singing. It's, yeah, I love it though.
Yeah, that's great, because yeah, like I know I remember being in school, and it definitely was one of those things where like you're busy all the time, but it's something you're really passionate about. So like it's always exciting, even if it's like busy and stressful. It's like, no, like, this is cool. Like, I love this. So yeah, that's great to hear.
Exactly. Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, cool. Well, yeah. So I know you said you have, you know, a few things in the works. Was there anything else you wanted to like add or promote or plug or anything like that?
Oh, we always suck at this, Sophia.
I know.
What are we forgetting?
Cassettes and vinyls.
Cool.
True. Yes, we have cassettes out now for American Summer, and vinyl should be here in the next couple of weeks. So once those are in stocks, we'll start doing more promo on that. So everyone. And
we also have merch.
We do.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we have our socials, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. That's where you can find all of our links for music, merch, streaming, music videos. We just put out a video for Higher Ground, which was taking a bunch of scenes from The Outsiders, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because I know I feel like I've seen some other artists do that as well, where like they'll take clips from like classic 80s movies and like, you know, fit them together to make a slick little music video like that. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's a fun, like, easy way to kind of get the whole vibe, you know, because the music's a lot of synthwave is, you know, it's more cinematic, so music's only a piece of the puzzle, and then you add those classic movies under it and it just brings it to life.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you've seen, I mean, like it's so it's funny. So I just started a new job, and like I mentioned, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm really into synthwave and the whole like synthwave scene, and people are like, synthwave, what's that? So just like, let me tell you.
Well, how much time you got?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like have you seen Stranger Things? You know the opening to that, but like a whole universe of it.
Yeah, yeah. It's so cool how like young this scene is. You know, it's only been around for what, 10 years, 12 years, something like that. So there's so much potential and so many great artists that I hope, you know, get some big breaks in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's like it is. I mean, it is still relatively niche, but like you see stuff like that where like I know like there was the whole big thing with The Weeknd recently, but like it is cool seeing it get more like some more mainstream attention, and also just the way like it grows and develops and evolves, like people bringing in other styles and combining it. Just because that's how any genre is going to go. It's always going to grow and change. That way it doesn't get stale.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I'm excited to see what it turns into, because it's such a weird thing to do, a retro genre, but then it progresses still, right? So it's interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, because I know like the whole big thing with synthwave is like, oh, it's the 80s, but then you'll see people like Michael Oakley, for example, and his latest one, he even had some like 90s like R&B elements in there, which was a really interesting take.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And I know like Sunglasses Kid's always doing cool 90s stuff. He did some stuff for J Diggs, and J Diggs is all like that more like R&B soul kind of sound. So yeah, definitely some cool avenues you can take. Yeah,
that's what I remember. Because I remember when he did a handful of tracks with J Diggs. Those are a lot of fun. Yeah,
definitely like party dance tracks, you know. A lot smoother than us. We're way too heavy to dance to most of the time.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like I was listening back to American Summer, and I really did like how like your stuff definitely has that really like sweeping cinematic sound to it, like especially with that opening track where it has like the audio voiceovers, which sort of like sets the stage and then like tells the story of like being young in the summertime, like action and romance and everything you think of when you think back to being summer when you were a kid.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really happy that that's coming across well, because that's definitely what we were going for. 100%.
Yeah, I know that's because obviously like with something it's like nostalgia, but like it is great whenever something like really when like it really lands like that. It's like, oh yeah, I really feel like I'm like 14 years old again. Like this is great. So yeah, but yeah. So well done in that regard.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean we did a good job, I think, promoting more of the physical side of things and with Bandcamp, everything like that. And hopefully this year we can bring it more towards the streaming side and really kind of blow that side of things open. You know what I mean? Get some more listeners on that side, because Bandcamp's great, but it's such a small audience compared to even Spotify or Apple Music. So we'll see. Hopefully we can generate some more steam on that side.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping. I mean, like I'm always happy to share and promote your stuff.
I appreciate it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so if you got a few more minutes. So was there anything else you wanted to add or anything like that?
Thanks for supporting me, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, thanks, Mom and Dad. Appreciate it. Oh, and wife. Thank you, wife. Yeah. There's. I mean, obviously the obvious ones are Mom, Dad, and family, but there's so many people that we could thank for helping us along the way.
Yes.
For sure. So we're excited, and we can't wait to bring some new tunes to 22.
Woo!
Yeah, very cool. Really looking forward to it.
Yes, and thank you so much for having us as well.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad glad you could join me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It only took us what, like 15 tries, but we figured it out.
Yep. Yeah.
No, that's definitely been one of the things I've been learning with this is, you know, sometimes it's like a oh yeah, can you do this time? Sure. And then other times it's like, oh yeah, I can do this time. Yeah, but I can't quite do this time. Right, something comes up. I mean, I know I've had stuff randomly come up, so totally understand. You guys are great. I'm super glad super glad we could all get together this evening.
Yeah, for sure, Patrick. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Well, Lavallette, Dan and Sophia, thank you all once again for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Thank you for watching. That was my conversation with Dan and Sophia of Lavallette. Make sure to check them out on Bandcamp and Spotify for both streaming and physical copies, as well as following them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @PatrickKingArt. Be sure to check out the ever-expanding Synthwave Ultra playlist on Spotify for loads of synthwave of all sorts. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel for more great synthwave conversations. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Synthwave Ultra.